Hi, welcome to the Yurt. Let's get started. I'm going to have everybody start in a seated position. So we're going to come all the way down to the mat, connecting our sit bones into the mat in Sukhasana, or crisscross applesauce. And sometimes it's called easy seated position. I do not like this term because sometimes it's not easy. I just did a really big hike the other day and I have some tight hips, and so I'm going to ease into easy seated position by using a block. I'm going to go ahead and sit up on this block, get my sit bones connected again, firmly grounded here, opening my palms up to the universe, and I'm going to begin with some deep cleansing breaths. In through the nose, let the abdomen expand and out from the mouth completely. Again, in through the nose and out from the mouth completely. Now go ahead and repeat that a couple times. From here, I'm going to settle into an Ujjayi breathing pattern. This is going to be in and out of my nose, gentle constriction of the back of the throat so that your breath is audible. As you're settling into this breath, feel your abdomen expand, so belly button is drawing out. As you exhale, it's drawing in. Shoulders are gentle. We also have a gentle tuck of the chin, creating length in the cervical spine. Crown of the head is rising up towards the sky. From here, draw your attention to your mind's eye, that space of visualization right in between your eyebrows. And options: one, visualize maybe an intention for practice today, whatever you need it to be. Could be a word or a phrase, anything. Option two, maybe just meditate on anything you feel grateful for or about. With these happy thoughts in mind and your Ujjayi breath, let's inhale, fingertips up towards the sky. On an exhale, we're going to go ahead and twist over to the right. My left palm is draped across my thigh. My right fingertips are gently supporting me behind, but I'm putting no weight into them. My core is nice and strong here. Maybe my gaze goes over this back shoulder. Crown is rising towards the sky, my spine is nice and long. Shoulders are gentle. Let's inhale, fingertips up to the sky again, and then go ahead and sweep on over to the left. Now, same setup here, and also this might feel different. We're not trying to find balance through sameness. We're trying to find balance throughout the rest of practice through acceptance of what this side needs. I'm going to go ahead and drape that right palm. Left fingertips are behind me. The gaze goes over my back shoulder if it's comfortable. Sit bones are firmly connected into the block right now. Inhaling, fingertips high. I'm going to go ahead and release because I'm going to remove the block out from under my bum now and set it to the side. I'm reconnecting my sit bones, and then I'm going to re-lift my fingertips, face my palms forward, and on an exhale, I'm drawing my elbows down towards my shins and then towards the mat and the floor, and I'm coming into a forward fold. Now this forward fold is folding from the hips, so my sit bones remain connected. I'm just kind of creeping forward a bit. When I'm in the full expression of this fold, I'm going to release the crown of my head down towards the mat. What this does is it facilitates a passive kind of stretch in your neck. So let that crown of the head drape down towards the mat, let the neck stretch, and then find your breath again. In this pose, every inhale is an opportunity to kind of lengthen the spine. Every exhale is an opportunity to sink a little bit more deeply into the pose. We're never forcing anything, we're just easing. On your next inhale, let's uncurl the spine, let the crown of the head rise, and then I'm gonna go ahead and flip my shins beneath the body. So flip your shins beneath your body, and we have open ankles here. I'll turn to the side so you can see. Nice and open ankles on your mat. From here, I'm gonna massage the ankles in for just a moment, kind of waking them up a bit. I'm gonna have a little bit of activity in my core. So I'm drawing my belly button in, making sure that my lumbar spine is supported. So something that we often tend to do is kind of dump the belly forward, and then this lumbar spine collapses. That puts it in a very vulnerable place. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna go ahead and tuck the top of my pelvis just a little bit more closely to my bottommost rib. I'm gonna feel my core activate. I'm also feeling that support in my lumbar. Go ahead and inhale your fingertips high. On an exhale, that right palm's gonna float down towards the mat. Go ahead and reach your left fingertips over the body to lengthen through this left lateral line, from the top of the hip all the way through the fingertips. Inhale, fingertips high again, and on an exhale, float that left palm down, and go ahead and reach through the right lateral line. Inhale high again. On an exhale, we're gonna flip the fingertips towards the knees. Go ahead and lift the hips up. I'm gonna come onto my palms here. Now they're reversed, and we have to be supportive of the wrists here. They're very delicate. Go ahead and tuck your toes. Gently shift your hips back until you feel a little bit of a stretch in the forearms and wrists. And then we're gonna go ahead and massage half moons over the wrists. So moving from right to left in a half moon, swooping the hips back and around, kind of waking the wrists up for some of the poses we'll be doing, primarily downward facing dog, and a little bit of planking. Check in with your Ujjayi breath. Make sure those toes are nice and tucked, and then we're gonna peel through the palms and through the fingertips here, and come up onto the toes. Now, when you're on your toes, this can be wildly uncomfortable. And honestly, if there's two stretches that I recommend first thing in the morning, just a few minutes of your day, it would be these open ankles and then these tucked toes. Tightness and tension begins in the smallest spaces. And if we don't tend to it, it moves up the chain and creates more tightness, stiffness, tension. As we get older, not that any of us are. I don't plan on it, at least. Good. Massaging into those toes. Then go ahead and inhale up onto your knees. I'm gonna open my ankles. Now for today's practice, I'm gonna offer you two versions of camel pose, and that's what we're doing next. I'm gonna go ahead and turn towards the camera here. So for camel pose, I'm lengthening from the knee to the pelvis and then through the shoulders. I'm gonna press my hips forward. I'm gonna create some activity in my core to protect that lumbar spine. My palms are gonna face out, so I can feel this nice stretch through my thighs, into my hip flexors a bit. Good. Now, if you feel like you can extend backwards, we can use blocks, or you can find your heels and open up the front body. Few breath cycles here. And then come on out of this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna roll directly down into quadruped. For quadruped, we're going to stack our wrists beneath our shoulders. Knees are beneath the pelvis. I'm going to go ahead and spread my fingertips wide and grip the mat. Now, just the act of gripping my mat is offering my brain, my subconscious brain, which is about 92% of what's going on up there, it's offering it a little bit of grounding and stability. On an inhale, I'm going to drop my belly, lift my crown, and lift my tail for cow. On an exhale, I'm pressing the mat away, tucking the chin, tucking the tail for cat. Inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. Use your breath here. Get as fancy as you want. You can wave into your side bodies. We can lift up the ankles and twist the feet around. Yep. Gripping into the mat. Now, if your lumbar does not like cow, go ahead and start from neutral to cat. Neutral to cat. Finding neutral again, I'm going to go ahead and extend my right leg back. My toes are drawing gently towards my shin and my heel is leading behind. From there, I'm going to reach my left fingertips forward and find bird dog. Now, this is not comfortable. We put our toe back down on the mat for more stability, or even the knee just shifted back a bit more. My gaze is down towards the mat, keeping my neck nice and long and in line with my spine. And from there, I'm going to draw my belly button in just a bit, finding that core activity. Good. Inhale here, and exhale, float that knee down. Wiggle it out just a bit before inhaling that left heel back. Same setup and also approach it as a unique side. Right fingertips, gaze is down. Core is active. My glute is really active too here. Lifting my leg. Inhale here. And exhale, float that leg down. Good. I'm going to go ahead and let my gaze come down towards the mat. Gripping my fingertips nice and wide here, gripping my toes into the mat, grounding myself here. Then I'm going to inhale, hips up towards the sky. Downward facing dog. My abdomen is reaching towards my thighs and my heart is reaching towards my knees. Crown of my head is hanging in between the arms and I'm just pedaling and massaging into this pose, kind of finding the tight spaces in my body here. Inhale here, and on an exhale, let's tiptoe to the top of the mat, forward fold. In a forward fold, you can let the crown hang down towards the mat. Gravity is going to give you that nice passive stretch again. Maybe we ragdoll the arms, swaying side to side like a tree in the wind. I love the yurt because I can always hear the breeze, just a gentle breeze outside, so it's not difficult to visualize myself as a tree in the wind. In a forward fold, I like to keep a little bend in the knees. It helps it to be more accessible. Just feels good. My toes are kind of gently massaging the mat right now, keeping that grounding. Releasing the fingertips down towards the mat now. On an inhale, I'm going to lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, I'm going to uncurl my spine like a fiddlehead fern here, reaching high. Here I'm going to interlace all except for my forefinger and my thumb, 4 fingers and my thumb. And then I'm going to find a standing half moon on one side. Back towards center, and then the other. Back towards center. Go ahead and open up the heart. Float on down towards the mat. And we're going to walk, step, or hop into our plank position. Now, plank can either be here in a high plank, or we can put our knees down. Either way, we're going to keep a strong core. Inhale deeply, and lower down to the mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down. Fingertips are coming outside my mat now, and I'm going to massage them into the floor just for a moment before inhaling my heart up for a wide cobra. Exhale, float down. Bring the palms beneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, down dog. Good. Now let's do one more round of that. Inhale deeply here in downward facing dog. On an exhale, walk, step, or hop, top of the mat, forward fold. Here in the forward fold, I'm going to lift my right fingertips high for a twist. Exhale, float that hand down. Inhale, left fingertips high for a twist. I'm going to get my hair on my face here. Oof. Okay. Exhale, float that palm down. Inhale up halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, reach high. Interlace aside from the forefinger and the thumb. Good. Standing half moon on one side. Back to center. And standing half moon on the other. Back to center. Open up the heart. Float on down. Walk, step, or hop into your plank position. Now you notice when I lower my plank, my elbows are as close to my rib cage as possible. I'm going to inhale here and exhale down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingertips come wide. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, float down. Palms come beneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, down dog. Now pedal into your downward facing dog here. Truly massage into it. Allow your body to move and to flow, just like the water on the lake. Find the tight spots in your side bodies, maybe in your calves, and just press and massage. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and inhale the right leg high. Now I'm going to open up the hip by guiding my knee up towards the skylight and dropping my heel down towards my bum. Inhale that leg high again. And on an exhale, let's draw the knee beneath the body. Go ahead and absorb your thigh up into your abdomen and plant your left foot in between, your right foot in between your hands. And then go ahead and tuck that left foot up a bit so it can be at a 45-degree angle. And then we're going to rise up into a warrior 1. Now today we're doing grounding poses, okay? We're getting connected with our environment. We're getting connected with the earth. We just went through a season change from spring to summer, and so our bodies are still dealing with that flux. We're finding the grounding. I'm going to go ahead and bounce into my front foot and feel that stability and feel my glute kind of respond. My core is nice and strong. I'm pressing a nice long line through this back leg. Interlace the fingers and let's press the palms up to the sky. Opening the heart up to the sun and the skylight. Float the palms down towards the back of the head and let's open the heart up even more. Release the palms behind the body. Open your heart even more to the elements here. On an exhale, optional, we're going to guide the abdomen down towards the inside of the right thigh, releasing the crown of the head towards the toes as we let the palms rise up above. Fingertips release to frame the foot. I'm going to step the left foot up to meet with the right. Now, facing y'all, my feet are right beneath my pelvis. But to enter this chair pose, which is what we're going to do, I'm just going to have you do a quick jump. Wherever your feet land is where they're the most happy, okay? When your feet are happy and your body is happy, your subconscious brain is happy, and our mind and body start connecting into a safe practice. From there, I'm going to pretend like someone's pulling a chair out from behind my bum. So I'm just chasing it down right here. Palms are going to come to heart center. Good. Now in your chair pose, feel free to play around. Shift your weight from toes to heels. You're going to feel maybe quads and calves respond in the toes. Heels are definitely glute centric. Good. Shoulders are gentle. Gentle tuck of the chin. And of course our face is gentle and happy too. I always remind my classes that, like, happy face, happy body. Good. From there, if you would like the challenge, we can go into awkward pose. So I'm going to reach my fingertips forward and just rise up onto my toes. Good. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. And release. Beautiful job. Coming to the top of your mat. We're going to inhale high again. Open up the heart to the skylight and exhale, float down. Walk, step, or hop into your plank position. Inhale deeply here and exhale down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Upward facing dog. Tuck toes, down dog. Reconnect with your Ujjayi breath here. Maybe your intention or your little gratitude visualization. Let's inhale left leg high. Open up the hip by guiding that knee up towards the skylight, dropping the heel towards the bum. Inhale, leg up high again. On an exhale, let's guide that left knee beneath the body, absorb the thigh into the abdomen, and place the foot in between the hands. I'm going to tuck the right foot up so it can rest at a 45-degree angle, and lift up into my warrior one, or Virabhadrasana one. A little bit of Sanskrit there. Happy face, gentle shoulders. Let's interlace fingers, press the palms up to the sky. Palms guide down behind the head, open up the heart. Releasing behind the body, open up the heart even more. Good. Option, exhale, the abdomen down towards the inside of the thigh. Palms raise, crown reaches towards the toes. Releasing fingertips. Now I'm going to guide that right foot up to meet the left. And I'm going to raise up into my chair. Now, we can do our little hop and land if we want. Booty's reaching back for that chair that's being pulled out from beneath you. Core is nice and strong. Shoulders gentle, face gentle. Reaching fingertips forward. Maybe we come onto our toes for awkward. And reach high. Good. Okay. Back to the top of the mat here. Let's inhale high. Open up the heart. Float on down. Walk, step, or hop into your plank position. Inhale here, and exhale down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, upward facing dog. Tuck toes, down dog. I'm gonna reach my, which one am I gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna do right. Good. Open up the hip here. If it's in your practice, you can flip the dog by guiding that foot around. We're gonna unflip or reach that leg back high again. On an exhale, guide that knee beneath the body. Allow the foot to plant itself in between the hands. Drop that left heel towards the right side of the mat. And cartwheel arms up for warrior 2. Good, now stay in your pose. Well, what I would like to show you is that general setup, okay? So for warrior 2, I have a lead foot and then my back foot. That heel from the front is intersecting the back. If I want a gentle expression, I'm closing space here. More intense, I'm opening space. Now, core is nice and strong. I'm guiding right through the outside of this back foot and I'm firm in my front foot. I like to bounce around a little bit there. Arms tee out. I'm gonna check that I'm level. Shoulders are gentle. My gaze is over my drishti, my focal point, which is the middle finger on this leading hand. Good. Warrior 2. Inhale, fingertips high. On an exhale, I'm sweeping my left arm back, wrapping it across my lumbar, and I'm gonna reach my right fingertips over, keeping this strong bend in my front leg. Exalted warrior. Inhale high again. We're gonna find a side angle. Now this can be accomplished with forearm to thigh or fingertips to a block or all the way down to the mat. My shoulders are nice and level. My heart is open to the side. If I want some more elongation in the side of my body, I can reach my fingertips over. Now using your core, we're gonna guide palms towards heart center, and then I'm gonna shift my torso forward. Toes are gonna point forward, and I'm coming into a wide-legged forward fold. In my fold, I like to lunge from one leg to the other. Sometimes it feels comfy to kind of reach through the legs. Let everything just hang here. My palms are gonna come back to center. I'm gonna heel toe to an athletic squat stance. Palms are coming towards heart center and I'm dropping my booty down for Malasana. In Malasana, the crown of my head is reaching towards that skylight. I'd like for the soles of my feet to be firmly planted on the mat. And I have external pressure onto the insides of my thighs here that's really opening up my hips. Also known as garland pose. Release palms back down towards the mat. Hips are gonna pop up again, and then I'm walking my hands towards my front foot here, front right foot. Good. From there, I'm going to guide my palms up to heart center, shift, and come to a single limb stand. Now, let me come over here with you. In the single limb stand, I'm gonna go ahead and find tree pose. This is where we can be those trees in the wind. So my root foot is firmly planted into the mat. I have an external rotation of this opposite leg. My core is nice and strong. I'm gonna drop my bottommost rib a little bit closer to my pelvis. I'm gonna check in with my pelvis too. Am I nice and level and forward? From there, I might find a bind with palms at heart center, or I might go into a lotus, or I might be a weeping willow, or you can be a tree in the wind if you want to challenge yourself a little bit. Woo! Find what works for you right now. Now I like to call it belly button out centeredness, okay? We're gonna start with our breath. Maintaining that Ujjayi breath in and out of the nose. Finding that core as you breathe. Good. Now if this tree is not working for you, we can always be a tree here or a tree here. But the idea is that you find stillness in your tree pose and that you can breathe into it. If we push ourselves too far and we have limbs flailing everywhere, that tells our brain we're not safe. And then it's kind of going against what we're trying to accomplish here, the journey of yoga. So find your expression that works for you and find your stillness in it. And release. Beautiful job. We're going to come to the top of the mat again. Inhale, high. Reach up to the sky. Open up the heart to the universe. Exhale, float down. Walk, step, or hop into your plank position. Inhale deeply here and exhale down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Upward facing dog. Tuck toes down, dog. I'm going to reach my left leg high, open up the hip, or flip the dog. Oof, this hair. Flip, reach high. On an exhale, that knee is coming beneath the body. The foot's going to plant in between the hands. And then I'm dropping my heel to the side, opening up into my warrior two. Again, my front foot is nice and firm and that leg is strong. I have a nice long line on this opposite leg. Shoulders are gentle. Gaze is gentle over my drishti. Inhale high. Sweep that back arm. Let's reach the front over. Inhale high. We'll find a side angle. So it's either forearm, block, or mat. If you want to feel more grounded, literally look at the ground. Wherever you're looking, whether it's down or up, we have a chin tuck. Just a tiny one. Palms are coming to heart center. I'm going to float my torso to the side and come into that wide-legged forward fold again. Now in your wide-legged forward fold right now, be creative and find what feels good for you. All of these poses, there's endless expressions. Find what works for you, and if something doesn't work, do it differently. My palms are going to find center, and I'm going to heel toe to that athletic squat stance. Thumbs are coming towards my heart, and I'm dropping my bum down for Malasana again. Now release those palms back down. Hips come up. Now I'm going to the opposite end of my mat because I turned around, but wherever you are walking towards your left foot, that's the right direction. So I'm walking towards the top of the mat. My left foot is hips turning here. Excellent. I'm just going to shift my center of gravity and come up into my single limb on my left foot. Now, I'm turning towards you. You don't have to do this. Okay, hippity hop. Finding tree pose on this side might be totally different, okay? So we're gonna go into a tree pose, but what I would like for you to do is understand that we are not symmetrical beings. We live very asymmetrical lives, whether it be because we're very dominant on one side, or maybe we shovel a lot of snow, and unless you're switching sides every 2 shovels, there's going to be imbalances in how we carry ourselves. And so we're approaching this side not as it has to be the same. Again, we're not finding balance through sameness, but we're approaching it with what does it need? And is it different from the other side? And we're usually our worst critics. And so if one side isn't behaving as strong as the other side, then the thoughts in our brain are just like, okay, this needs to change. I'm so disappointed. I'm kind of upset at this side and it needs to be different. No. That kind of negative self-talk speaks directly to our subconscious brain and creates just chaos, okay, for the body. Instead, how we're approaching this side is unique. So go ahead and plant your foot firmly and then decide what level. Oh, and by the way, never ever put your foot against your knee, please. Tendons, ligaments don't like that. So find your foot bind, whether it be on the mat against the calf or the thigh, and then find where your palms are gonna be. Check in with your core, your pelvis. Make sure you have a happy face. I just caught myself. Breathe into this with your Ujjayi breath. Now the Ujjayi breath, the in and out of the nose, activates the hippocampus in the brain, which in turn helps to relieve an elevated nervous system. So an Ujjayi breath is something you can access anytime, anywhere, in any scenario to help you with that. Help reduce tension. Big breath here, and when you're ready, release. Beautiful. All right, top of the mat. Now again, I'm going to the other end because I flipped around. Do as I say, not as I do. Inhale, high. Open up the heart. Exhale, float down. Walk step or hop into your plank. Inhale here, exhale down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees are going to make contact and we're pressing up and finding child's pose. So for child's pose, my hips are coming back towards my heels. If I want to adjust wide knees, sometimes people like that, my forehead is going to come into contact with the mat, and if that's not possible, I'll stack my fists. But I want your forehead, that mind's eye space, to make a connection right now. Connecting with your Ujjayi breath. Go ahead and roll on up out of this. We're going to come to our seat. Now we are getting close to the close of practice here. And so the way I like to close practice, number one, if there's another pose that you want to add in on your own, please feel free. But number two, I like to do an inversion. So this is going to be anything that gets the legs above the heart, and today we're going to go into one of the more mellow expressions of an inversion, and that's going to be legs up a wall. Now you can move your mat and have your legs go up an actual wall, or right here is fine too. Inversions that get the legs above the heart, they reverse the flow of energy in the body. They give the soleus muscles in the calves just a little break from pumping blood up to the head all day long. If you're ever feeling overwhelmed or stressed out at work, find a moment to put your legs up a wall and do your Ujjayi breathing. It's a game changer. It works miracles. Maintain this pose. Legs up the wall. One more big breath cycle. And then release. From here, we're gonna find our final Shavasana. Shavasana can be anything you need it to be. It's any way that makes you feel like you can completely release. If being on your back and having your front open to the elements and to the entire world feels very vulnerable and maybe unsafe, turn onto your belly. Or maybe just go to that Sukhasana, the seated position we were in at the beginning of practice. Otherwise, let's just release limbs, release the body. We're gonna close practice, much like we started, with some deep cleansing breaths. So you on your back and me talking you through it. Let's go ahead and take some deep cleansing breaths in through the nose. Let the belly button rise up to the sky. And exhale out the mouth completely. Inhale in through the nose again. And exhale completely out the mouth. Now go ahead and allow your breath to return to its unaltered state. And for the next several minutes on your own, because I'm going to close this practice so you can be alone for Shavasana, but for the next several minutes, allow yourself to just be on your mat. Release control of your body, let it be. What that also means is that you're going to allow your thoughts inside your mind to come and go as they please, even if they're negative. We're going to let them be. Let them in, let them out. I had a wonderful time in practice with all of you today. My name is Tanya. My Instagram is @YogaSingerAK. If you have any questions or concerns or just want to talk yoga, message me anytime. But for now, enjoy your Shavasana. Namaste.